Hey everyone, and welcome back! Today we're taking a massive leap back in time, way back, to an era that lasted for over 3 million years and literally shaped the course of human history. We're talking about the Stone Age. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Caves, clubs, and grunting. But the reality is so much more fascinating. This was the dawn of human ingenuity, the very beginning of technology. It's the epic story of how our ancestors went from being just another animal in the wild to becoming the dominant species on the planet, all thanks to a few carefully shaped rocks. So, what exactly do we mean by the Stone Age? It's a huge period of prehistory, and archaeologists have broken it down into three main parts: the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. That sounds a bit academic, I know, but stick with me. The Paleolithic, or Old Stone Age, is the big one. It covers a staggering 99% of human technological history. This is where it all began, around 3.3 million years ago in Africa, with the very first stone tools. These weren't fancy axes or arrowheads. They were super simple. Just one rock, called a hammerstone, used to knock a flake off another rock, the core. The resulting sharp edge could be used for cutting meat off a carcass or breaking bones to get to the nutritious marrow inside. It might seem basic to us, but this was a revolutionary leap. For the first time, our ancestors could access food sources that were completely unavailable to them before. This changed their diet, fueled their growing brains, and set them on a brand new evolutionary path. As we move forward a million years or so, we see a major upgrade. Enter the Acheulean hand axe, the Swiss Army knife of the Paleolithic. This is probably the tool most people picture when they think of the Stone Age. It was a bifacial tool, meaning it was worked on both sides to create a symmetrical teardrop shape with a sharp point and a cutting edge all around. Creating one of these required planning, skill, and a clear mental template of the final product. It wasn't just random bashing. This tells us a lot about the cognitive abilities of early humans like Homo erectus. These hand axes were incredibly versatile. They could be used for butchering animals, digging for roots and tubers, chopping wood, and maybe even as a defensive weapon. They were so successful that they remained the dominant tool for over 1 million years, found all across Africa, Asia, and Europe. Now let's fast forward to the Middle Paleolithic, around 300,000 years ago. This is the era of the Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens. Here, we see another technological innovation known as the Levallois technique. This was a game changer. It was like a prehistoric production line for tools. Instead of just shaping a single core into one tool, they would meticulously prepare the core first. They would shape it in a very specific way, almost like sculpting a turtle shell. Then, with a single precise strike, they could detach a perfectly shaped flake that was sharp and ready to use, with minimal extra work. This method was far more efficient. It allowed them to produce standardized flakes, points, and blades that could then be attached to wooden shafts to create the first composite tools like spears. This required even more foresight and abstract thinking. It was a sign that human minds were becoming increasingly complex, capable of multi-step planning and creating specialized toolkits. Finally, we arrive at the Upper Paleolithic, starting around 50,000 years ago. This period is associated with a massive explosion of creativity and innovation, often called the Creative Revolution. Tool technology became incredibly diverse and sophisticated. We see the mass production of long, slender blades struck from prepared cores. These blades were then turned into a huge variety of specialized tools: burins for engraving, end scrapers for cleaning hides, and fine, sharp points for hunting. This is also when we see the first definitive evidence of new materials being used. Bone, antler, and ivory were carved into needles with eyes for sewing clothes, barbed harpoons for fishing, and even spear throwers or atlatls. An atlat acted as a lever, allowing a hunter to throw a spear with far more force and accuracy, revolutionizing hunting. This technological boom coincided with the first art, cave paintings, and personal ornaments, showing a world rich with symbolism and culture. From a simple sharp rock to a complex toolkit that enabled art and tailored clothing, The journey through the Stone Age is nothing short of incredible. It's a testament to our ancestors' resilience, intelligence, and relentless drive to innovate, which laid the foundation for everything that followed. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into our amazing past. See you in the next video.